All right, welcome back, Chiefs Kingdom, to the KC Sports Report. As always, I'm your host, Michael Darcy, and today I have the pleasure of being joined by Michael Hebner, and we're going to break down who's the 2020 NFL MVP. So there's three candidates in my mind that really stick out as the MVP. First off, you got the Patrick Mahomes, who's just played out of his mind this year. Aaron Rodgers, who's also had a very good season as well. And then the third candidate who has kind of fallen off recently would be Russell Wilson. But in my opinion, it really comes down to the Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers debate because ultimately their stats are very similar. And at the end of the day, it's just a matter of who you want to pick. Currently, Mahomes leads in passing yards with 4,208. The completion percentages are close. Mahomes has a 68.4 completion percentage. Rodgers has a 69.6 percentage. Mahomes has 33 passing touchdowns. Rodgers has 39. Mahomes, unfortunately, has 5 interceptions, throwing 3 of those last week. To Rodgers, only 4. And obviously, Mahomes is 12-1 this year, and Rodgers' team is 10-3. So their stats are similar. But, Michael, in your opinion, who do you think is the MVP?
Oh, I mean, it's a tough question, really, because I mean, it's not really a far difference in their numbers. I mean, it's within air, I guess. I mean, really, the only big differences that stick out to me, at least, are the wins. I mean, Mahomes has 2 more wins, and then the amount of yardage between the two, which is roughly 600 yards, which is what 2 games of 300 yards during that game, which is about what these guys put up per game. So um, I don't know. I mean, if I had to pick, I'd probably go with Rodgers right now, but there's still 2 games left this season, so
I mean,
over. But
I could see multiple things happening. The last 3 games, it's going to determine who's the MVP. Is it going to be Patrick Mahomes or can Aaron Rodgers keep it up? I think Mahomes is currently trailing just a bit. I mean, that game against the Dolphins, it wasn't good. He threw 3 interceptions and didn't throw as many touchdowns as we're accustomed to. And honestly, I think that game kind of put him a little bit behind Rodgers. But again, there's still 3 games left for Mahomes to take that lead. But right now, I would still go with Mahomes. And I think that not trying to pull the favoritism card, but the NFL looks at Patrick Mahomes currently a lot different than they do Aaron Rodgers. So maybe they give it to Rodgers because he is probably having a statistically better season so far, but it's so close. And Mahomes has just been brought up as the face of the NFL that they might give it to him. But I personally think that Mahomes has had a better year. I mean, I know the stats don't really show it, but if we take away that Dolphins game, Mahomes leads in the fewest amount of interceptions, and his completion percentage is probably higher. So I think that there are some things that you can nitpick, but I think this is a race that's going to come down to the end.
when you can't just take away 1 game, I mean, he did make a lot of mistakes in that game. Just poor decision. I mean, you can't blame one of those interceptions because it was tipped by the defender, and I mean, there's really nothing you can do in that situation. But at the same time, it's like a couple of those other throws were out there, and the past couple of weeks, he's had interceptions that were called back because of fluke things that they're lucky they happened, or the defender dropped it. I mean, he hasn't been 100% clean this season, so he's been really lucky in a lot of situations. But he, I mean, the way you got to look at it is if you took one of these players out from their teams and replaced it with a average backup quarterback, who would succeed? Like who would have a bigger impact, right? Like if you took Rodgers away from the Packers, would the Packers succeed as well, or vice versa with the Chiefs? If you took Mahomes away, would the Chiefs succeed relatively decent compared to when they had Mahomes?
I mean, I think the Packers don't win 10 games. If they don't have Aaron Rodgers, they're basically cooked. But at the end of the day, I mean, it basically comes down to a popularity contest and who puts up better numbers. Right now, Rodgers is favoring in those numbers. He has put up better stats than Mahomes in 3 categories. That's completion percentage, touchdowns, and interceptions. But again, there are 3 games left. And I think that it's ultimately going to come down to who led in passing yards, touchdowns, and interceptions. And I think that if Mahomes gets far enough ahead in the passing yard department that if he's close in touchdowns, it might not matter. And they're very close in interceptions already. So, I mean, it's really just very, very, very close. And I think that honestly, maybe they give it to Rodgers and Mahomes takes the Super Bowl MVP because going back to the Kurt Warner days, I mean, nobody's won the MVP during the regular season and won a Super Bowl in the same year. I mean, you look at guys like Peyton Manning, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, they all won the regular season MVP, but they couldn't get it done in the playoffs. So maybe it's a curse. But I think that Mahomes really doesn't care about this. He's focused on the postseason. And I think that's the mindset you're going to have. So ultimately, in my opinion, I think Patrick Mahomes will pull it out, but these candidates are very close as of right now. Thank you for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, like and subscribe for more of the best Chiefs content on YouTube. You can also support the channel through the Patreon and follow us on Instagram. The links to those are in the description. You just listened to the KC Sports Report by Michael Darcy.